I think comparison's a bigger part of climbing than most people are willing to admit. I don't think comparison is the problem. I think the problem is how people use it. I'm Matt Wright, and this is episode 7 of A Climber's Mind. In this episode, I want to talk about comparison, why it can be incredibly useful, why it can also become destructive, and how to tell whether your comparison is being driven by ego or by curiosity. Because comparison has been one of the most powerful tools in my entire climbing journey, but it's also been something that's held me back at times. For a long time, I wanted to be the best, not in a delusional way. I knew I wasn't going to become the next Adam Ondra, but I wanted to prove something. I wanted validation for the effort I was putting in, and comparison, along with grades, became the way I measured that. But over time, I realised something. There are two ways comparison shows up: ego and curiosity. Ego asks, why am I not there yet? Curiosity asks, what are they doing that I can learn from? Same situation, but it's a completely different outcome. Now, before I go any further, I don't think ego's the devil. Ego drives people, it creates ambition, and it pushes you to improve. And it's completely natural. As humans, we compare, we compete, and we form natural hierarchies. That's part of our nature. So trying to remove ego completely isn't realistic, and it's probably not even helpful. The real issue is this: it's when your ego becomes dependent on comparison, when you need other people to validate your ability. Because the key is this: you need to value your own progress, your own strengths, your own development, without constantly measuring it against someone else. When I really think about it, the time I struggled most with comparison was just after I did Hubble. Up until that point, everything had been very linear. I got a new grade every year. I had pretty clear progression, clear direction. But after that, the structure disappeared. And that's when comparison hit the hardest. Even though I'd just done something significant, I felt like I was falling short because I didn't have direction. I didn't have something to excite me. So I started looking outward. What I needed was a new perspective, new goals, a new process, and something meaningful. That came through trad climbing, and interestingly, my comparison became less intense. I still compare myself, that doesn't go away. But now it feels different, more curiosity, less ego. I also shifted how I saw myself. I used to want to be a professional athlete, and now I see myself as a coach. And because of that, my climbing doesn't carry the same pressure, so my ego has less to attach itself to. And this is the key point. Ego-driven comparison isn't really about other people. It's a signal that something's off in your own process. So the problem isn't comparison. The problem is ego, when it shifts you from learning to proving something. You can see it clearly in behaviour. You rush rests, you force attempts, you abandon structure, you chase validation. You're no longer climbing to improve, you're climbing to prove something. I used to feel this a lot indoors. I'd be climbing 8B plus boulders outside, but then struggle on 7B inside. And that used to really frustrate me. I'd compare myself to people that were stronger than me. I'd think, if I had that, I'd be better. But now, I actually enjoy it. I enjoy falling off, learning movement, figuring things out. And because of that, I don't rush, I don't force things, I climb with intent. You won't remove ego completely, but the goal is to catch it. Do you fall off and look around? Do you rush back on? Do you criticise yourself or get agitated? Well, that's ego. And when you notice it, pause, step back and breathe. Ask yourself, what would actually help me right now? And then return to your process. Because sometimes it's not comparison, it's fatigue, stress, poor sleep, something in your life feeling off. Comparison just exposes it. In some places, I feel strong and capable, like Dumbarton Rock or Malham Cove. In others, less so. But that's just exposure. If I go in with ego, I don't learn. If I go in with curiosity, that's where the magic happens. And the reality is, the better you get, the more comparison you'll be exposed to. So learning to handle it is part of progression, not a side issue. Comparison isn't something you need to remove, it's something you need to use properly. If it's driven by ego, it will hold you back. If it's driven by curiosity, it will move you forward. So don't try to stop comparing, just make sure it's working for you, not against you. Thanks for tuning in. If there's anything you'd like me to discuss in future episodes, please reach out either on Instagram, email, or in the comments of these episodes, and I'll be sure to check it out.